Me and record it.
Okay, so we're gonna do a brief school year in, try to do it briefly. School year in pictures. Current program offerings, and then
Right now, I'm just taking pictures of all the people who are talking,
Okay.
so that whoever's not here can see who the guilty parties are. Seriously, people, she only talked for like 2 minutes. I know we have that the attention span of a goldfish, but please, please.
Yeah, because I feel very passionate about this project, so forgive me for being verbose. And then an open enrollment invitation. If you don't already know, this parish is supporting or subsidizing, I don't want to say that, but meeting all full-time students halfway with the cost of full-time tuition. Halfway. So that is a major gift from this parish. Please take a big look at it. Okay, this is the acronym. If the children are filled with Christ from an early age, they will always remain close to Him. That is because the fear of God and the devotion that watered their hearts when they were young cannot be ever eradicated. Okay, so it's kind of like that, watering, the gardening analogy right there. And I have another gardening analogy. And by the way, that quote was from this book, which is being sold at the kiosk. But if you're interested, Spiritual Counsels #4, Family Life. And the next one is from this book, Conversations with Children, which is, I also believe it's there too, from Sister Magdalene. We think of so this is actually a quote from a Christian parent who helped found a Christian primary school, and he was asked, do you think maybe you're sheltering your kids in this school, like you're not, exposing them to the realities? And he responded, we think of our school as a greenhouse. Again, the gardening methodology, or analogy. There, the strongest plants can be produced. You can't put the seedlings out in the garden. You start with a heated greenhouse, then when they are bigger, you put them in a cold frame, and that's an unheated glass structure for those that aren't familiar. Then finally, they are ready to go outside. So there's a step-by-step process. Really quickly, some of you already know this because we've been having conversations about classical, but what is a classical Christian education? A true classical Christian education is a liberal arts education. And the word liberal derives from the Latin for libero, which is to free. So it's a freeing education. It makes a person a free person. So it also helps prepare the students to enter the great conversation of the people we read about in history. But we need to, in order to contribute to that conversation, we need to learn from them and expand what we understand about the world. It's also developing the skills to recognize and appreciate what is true, good, and beautiful, and not only to recognize and appreciate it, but also to produce it in the world. And that, of course, we know is Christ. So here we go. This, our mission, to provide a classical education in an Orthodox Christian environment, allowing our students to grow to their full human and spiritual potential with the ability to engage society as mature followers of Jesus Christ. And our vision is to foster the next generation of leaders, not only for the church, but for society in general. These students will have fully developed bodies, minds, and souls. So, brief overview. Forgive me again, I'm blocking. Okay. Our 5-day program and the 2-day program, which is the microschooling program for homeschooling families, if they choose to sign up for that for their children, then that means that they wish to 3 days a week, teach their children at home. But for the 5-day program, it's very much, classical based, and Orthodox too. So before and after school prayer, we read the life of the saint. There's church service and catechism on Wednesday mornings. We do recitations and memory verses to expand their understanding of things, and also, it's like memory is a muscle, to work that muscle so they can memorize things. Subjects are listed there. Latin, 2nd grade, so my son did Latin this year. This is his Latin book if you're interested in seeing it. And me, Greek, we start next year. Mostly the alphabet. What is the A2OCA difference? Instructors are practicing Orthodox Christians. The students don't have to be Orthodox, but they can't opt out of things related to the faith. So if you are going to join our school, our faith is intertwined with the education. It's not, you can't opt out of it. Students live and experience Orthodox Christian faith in school, and they attend church on the 12 major feast days. Instructors work with the parents very closely because we recognize them as first educators. We are not there to replace parents. We are there to work with them to help in creating a strong educational environment for them. We have developmentally appropriate curriculum that's engaging, intellectually rigorous, and small class sizes. That is the key to ensuring that you stay true to a strong education that you're offering. If you have too many students, something has to give. You can't control everything. You can't. It's not about control, but it's ensuring that everybody has a strong experience with their education. And our academy is built with low EMFs in mind. So in a regular school, you'll probably see a router in every few classrooms. That emits a very high amount of EMFs. And with that in mind, there's strong research that suggests that it affects concentration. So that's something that we want to ensure we limit to the degree possible. Okay.
I'm sorry,
so
what is EMF?
electromagnetic frequencies. So every week we talk about a manner of the week because we believe that it's like the unspoken curriculum, right? Yes, you come to become smarter with our curriculum in the classical Christian tradition, but the important part is also to be a good human being. And so we practice these manners in all our interactions with students, parents, teachers. We ask students to take home the manner of the week and apply it in their lives. So things like smile in the first week, or greet people joyfully in the second week, or clean up after yourself, number 18, or don't place your elbows on the side on the table if food is present. So things like that, that these manners that people maybe may not be aware of because it's been lost over the course of our, from generation to generation. All right, so program offering. We have online, this is Mrs. Ana Ramirez. She is our online instructor. She is an Orthodox Christian who converted to the faith many years ago. She's practicing. She sings in her choir in Texas, Waxahachie, and she does kindergarten to 3rd grade. So this is just a sample of things that she does with the students. So my son has been taking online with her since kindergarten, and now he's going into 3rd. Okay, there's my son working. Okay. We also have microschooling for pre-K to 3rd grade. Microschooling involves coming 2 days a week. Again, this is just for homeschooling families. It's for people that want to bring their children here 2 days a week, and then they want to do the rest 3 days a week. And then blended learning is actually a combination of both online and microschooling. So 3 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, they do online. Wednesdays and Fridays, when they don't have online, they do in person. Oh, forgive me. Okay. And this is full-time. Our full-time program is for kindergarten to 3rd grade students going into September, with the potential for 4th grade if we have enough students. So we always absolutely encourage our students to engage with their learning not only through teacher-led instruction and dialogue and hands-on activities, but also through writing in their workbooks. So they have workbooks, dedicated workbooks. I'll give you, this is my daughter's from the last year. Every single activity is completed. You can take a look at the progress she's made in every single one of these, and I'll show you actually because I did take pictures. So we teach students how to properly hold their pencils, which we call proper pencil grip. So I say PPG. If I see a child, they know what it means, but if I see a child not holding properly, I say PPG, remember PPG, and they just switch back. We encourage them to write nicely and neatly on a ruled page. So following, the bottom and top lines as well as the dotted line in the middle, because every letter is supposed to be written properly in between those 2 lines. And we, little things like cleanly erase your mistakes and doing their best in all their work because it's all for the glory of God. We always ask them to try their best. Okay, so this is like a before and after kind of thing. So that's with the teachers writing very lightly in pencil. This is from copybook memory. So by the end of the week, they have to memorize the passages that are for the week. So the first, this is week 5. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden. Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. And this is according to the Orthodox Study Bible. That's what I quote. So if there's a quote that doesn't match with I always reference. So that's going to be accurate in terms of our Orthodox faith. And then week 20, that's her writing by herself. Hey, manuscript practice writing sheets. So whatever letters or digraphs or whatever they're learning that week, because there's always either a letter focus or a digraph focus, they do lots of practice of writing the same thing over and over again. So they can learn to write neatly, and it ties into spelling. All the subjects are connected. Academics in numbers, so this is the start of building a strong foundation in mathematics, is knowing your numbers and what the values of these numbers are. So in week 5, she's learning 7. In week 15, it's about 15. Okay. And then later on, that was a numbers book, but then they actually do have a math book. So let me see. That's numbers. They have 2 of these for the year, so once they finish one, they go on to the next. And then there's her math book. So all these pages are from this book. Okay. So that's week 4 and week 27, they start doing telling time on the hour. And on the half hour, counting by tens, because in order to do multiplication, you have to learn how to count by a certain number. They do 2s, 3s, 5s, and 10s right now, and then they increase that in first grade. Okay, and then they do subtraction family and addition family to 8, subtraction to 6. They do word problems, so they read and they have to translate into numbers. Okay, and there's first start reading. So this is phonics. In week 2, the letter focus was A. So you'll see that that connection there. First start reading. So then the word Sam. So they learned A, and then it's S, and then M. And then by week 3, they learned how to sound out the first word, which is a name, Sam. So they go S-am. Okay. And here later on, they do like the digraph ship. So sorry, SH together makes one sound. Sh. So they fill in the SH for beginning, words that begin with that digraph and end with it. And there they do a dictation. So it's basically a spelling test. Like the teacher will say dish. So they have to sound out d, I, sh. Okay, so now we move on to putting Christ first. In the life of the church, we mentioned that on Wednesdays we start with a church service. Most usually it is a divine liturgy, but sometimes we have to do thank you, midnight office. Thank you. There they are, participating. Then we do our catechism, we do our prayer before we sit on the carpet and have a lesson that's applicable to every single student. Then they go off into their classrooms. I'm sorry, that double picture should not be there. Then they go off into their classrooms and do some activities. This is Jana. Jana here. Jana, you taught the children egg for Pascha, egg motifs, or Easter Pascha egg motifs. And so they really love that lesson, and she did a great job doing that. So I want to thank all our volunteers who came over the year to share their talents with their students. So that's Christmas time. That's again. Okay, yeah, all right. So they practice their manner of the week with social interactions, not only in class, but outside, so they can kind of rest their mind before they engage again in more academic pursuits. All right, crafting with a purpose. I'm gonna just go to this because I wanna make sure I get everything right really quickly. Our students are taught beginning understanding of color theory, as well as various painting techniques, using a paintbrush and other tools and materials. They enjoy putting them to use to engage in crafts that relate to the learning focus of the week. And in this case, they used it to paint those eggs, and some of them were sent off. And these were as well. They painted, actually these are cookies, thanks to Sanya. She made the cookies for us so that we can paint them. They were sent off to our Pascha exchange partners. We participated with Orthodox Pebbles, who grouped us with other Orthodox children across the country. We had a group in Pennsylvania, Oregon, and New York this year. We learned sign language. Matusha Katie is well versed in that skill, so she teaches the students sign language for our program. They signed the whole alphabet song, and they know other words to communicate, like what is your name. Okay, music and movement. You'll see Miss Elizabeth Lowe there. She's not here, but she is doing her PhD in music and pedagogy. So she is happy to help develop students' musicality through the various activities that she does with them. Okay. They also learn the first instrument that we teach them is a handbell, and you just hold it there, and then when it's time to ring, you ring it this way and you bring them back. Oopsies. Okay. Sustainable. Where is Marie here? Marie's not here. So she's also a volunteer sharing her talents to teach the children about sustainable gardening. In this picture, they're potting plants, the left, and on the right, they're looking at a worm bin for worm composting. Vermiculturing. We also do cooking and baking. So the previous year they had grown some things in our garden, which is right now being readied. But in October, they actually harvested the last of the root vegetables, and we made a yummy soup. Thank you, Ksenia. With her guidance, we made a yummy soup. Everybody had a chance to chop up something or do something to contribute to that soup. And then, where's Matushka Alexandra? Okay, Matushka Alexandra. Oh, there, yes. So she helped with making blini for Cheese Fair Week. That is the Russian tradition. So she was leading the group, and everybody, again, had a task. Some people were preparing fillings, savory or sweet fillings. Okay, and there's Miss Lydia with her first grade, kindergarten students, forgive me, and they're just cooking and baking, learning techniques, you know, including mathematics to measure things out. And then if a class did a baking assignment, they usually make more and then share with everyone else. Okay, this is, exploring the world of science. So we have musical glasses there, and then that's the milk experiment where you put dye in the milk and then a drop of soap, and it makes the colors disappear, or not disappear, just repel each other. Ms. Ksenia also lended her expertise in flower arrangements to teach symmetry and balance, so she did a lesson on that, which is really, my kids created something extraordinary. I still have it. We had a field day at the end of the year, so they enjoyed doing that. Okay, now here are some community connections. I'm not going to speak too much to them, but basically these are field trips. We are making connections to the community that they know that we are here, and then they can connect with the community in return. Plymouth Orchard and Cider Mill back in October when we were doing a unit on apples. Fire station trip when it was close to Fire Prevention Week in November. It's October, but we did it in the beginning of November. They are connecting with the monastery. We do a Reef Junction monastery trip. Thank you, Matushka, for inviting our students to participate, but this is their community service, kind of helping in the garden. We had a nice workshop on magnets at the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum. In March, when it's time for maple sugaring, we had a nice program at a nearby Metro Park. Huron Mills, is it? Okay, and then I don't know if you noticed, but in Grass Lake there's a Lost Railway Museum, and so we had a chance to take a look at a lost railway, they say, because it no longer operates, but the line is kind of hidden there, still connecting Grass Lake to Jackson. Okay, and then near the end of the school year, we did a trip to the Toledo Zoo, Pollywog Farm to learn about permaculture. And then we did a U-Pick just around the corner from here. Around the corner. It's just a few miles away, but Honeybee U-Pick Farm. And we picked some strawberries there. Okay, so now we also talk about or celebrate the students' accomplishments. At the Christmas program, they presented things that they had learned up until December. And here is the end of year program with our students also presenting what they had learned for the rest of the school year from December to June, and there are some people enjoying the potluck that we had. So yeah, we consider everybody a family. This is, at the end of this, you see this, that was impromptu. Somebody's like, take a picture. They're like, oh, we're gonna miss you. So they want to hug each other. And then they invited us, so we're up in the teachers, I mean. Yeah, and then we had on June 15th, if you were here, we had our graduation program. So you witnessed our first graduating class from the school. We have had graduation programs before, but this one was the first of our students that were present at the school building since it was opened in September, and they received their graduation certificates. Okay, unfortunately the video clips are not working on my laptop, but if anybody is interested, they are very, very insightful. I think video speaks more than pictures or words. So if you would like to see them, I'd be happy to share link access with you. Okay, the last little thing that I was going to say is fundraising efforts. Obviously our school wouldn't be here without generous support of those organizing fundraisers and contributing towards helping us sell things to make those funds. So they made, for the bake sale that happened in December, they made cupcakes, cookies, and muffins. And then we had the Queen's Gala on the 14th of February this year. It was the chess theme, and Matushka Katie so elegantly organized everything. And we had wonderful talent to help support this mission. And there's just a selection of a talent. And then this, again, the idea with the students is to make them understand the importance of helping out with the fundraising efforts of the school. So they painted those chess pieces. We got them blank wooden ones, and they painted them, and then we found an antique chess table, and that was up for auction. Okay, and then we had, thanks to Ksenia, we had 3 fundraising shows. The Youth Talent Show was on March 16th. And then our very own students did some handbell songs for that fundraiser. There was a musical concert on the 23rd. And these are outside talents, like they're not from STV or St. Vladimir, but the previous ones are. And then we had another fundraiser for the 100th anniversary of the martyric death of new martyr patriarch Tikhon. And that we had the St. Vladimir Choir present a nice curated selection of hymns and songs. Okay, this is pretty much the end now, but we'd like to get this parents' feedback. Like, what are you experiencing at home with your students? What are you noticing? So the question was, what difference have you noticed that A2OCA's microschooling program has made in the life, learning, and cognitive development of your child? And in this response, my son has improved in many ways since starting at the academy. Most notably, he's improved drastically in his academic ability. Things I wouldn't have thought possible for him to accomplish less than a year ago, he can now do with relative ease. The challenging coursework has boosted his confidence as a student, and he is more likely to take on difficult work than he would have previously. Then we have the same question posed to another parent. We observed a remarkable change in my daughter's demeanor. Since attending this school, she's become more outgoing, well-mannered at home, and responsive to our guidance. Additionally, she's developed a genuine concern for others beyond our family circle. The next question here is, what do you think sets A2OCA apart from other schooling options? A2OCA is set apart by its commitment to child success, not only academically, but spiritually. My son's instructor's strong Orthodox faith, paired with her passion for education and belief in the student's ability, creates a wonderful Christian learning environment. And then the same question was posed to another parent. The flexibility provided by the school is truly exceptional. Beyond that, it fosters a sense of family rather than an impersonal atmosphere often found in public schools. We feel at ease knowing our child is in a secure, nurturing environment that upholds our values and shields her from influences that could compromise her innocence. Okay, what would you say to other parents considering this academy for their children? We wholeheartedly recommend spending a day at the school to witness this program firsthand. The teachers here approach their roles with heartfelt dedication, treating our children with care rather than merely fulfilling a job description. And I think, yeah, that was it. Or there's another slide there that I can't open. But anyways, so enrollment is open. New this year, we have a digital application. So you can click on our, oh, I know what the other one was. That was just a picture or a screenshot of our website. In case you haven't been on it, but I hope you have. That was a screenshot of the splash page, the homepage of our website, A2OCA.org. Yes, Ksenia.
Can I just, because, you know, a parent of the child who went to school
Right,
for
yes.
whole year, every day,
Yeah, full time.
full time, I saw not just like simple changes and, you know, like you expect that the child goes to school and learns things and, you know, but I saw the most in her faith.
Yeah, because we talk about God in everything. He's not absent in any of the discussions of learning. He's simply just not absent. He's everywhere.
And
Okay.
she started to read as well.
She started to read. I know, you were shocked. You said the other, well, a few months ago when you found her reading.
It's like
reading.
yeah, her prayer book. You know, some kids would sneak in at night
To read a novel, and she's like prayer book. Glory to God. That's right. So all our learning is really done for the glory of God. That's why we always encourage the students to do your best. That's who we're serving, our master. So, all right. So in any case, we do have online application, but you can also just do the hard copy. You just have a link there, PDF, print it out, fill it in, either hand it off to Father Gregory, myself, leave it in somebody's mailbox. You know, I'm sure it'll get to us. Oh, there it is. That's it. Okay, so there was another slide that I don't know. That is the homepage of our website. Okay, and then we have community outreach. We try our very best to, you know, we're not very, well, I'm speaking for myself. I'm not very social media savvy. So we do have help from people. Taya Skilitsky is the most recent person to join that team. She's been so instrumental to, get our, messaging out. And Courtney Eberline, or Veronica, if you know her by her baptismal name, she was the one I mentioned before who developed our nice flyers, which I invite you to take or share with someone else. You can also find it online, actually, if you want to just download it and share it digitally to anybody. Online or on our website, I meant to say. This is at the Russian Festival. We always have, or at least since we've been planning our school, we've had a little booth there. So anybody who's interested can come and see what we're doing. How can you help? Volunteer your time and talents. If you have a skill that you think students will benefit from you to learn, then please reach out to me and let me know what that skill is, and we can find a time in the school year that it makes sense to present that skill. Usually we like to connect it with their learning because it makes it more memorable. But that's not always the case, but that's usually our rule generally. Apply to be an instructor. Okay, that one, it depends on if we have enough enrollment. But yes, we do need instructors. So when the call comes out like a week before school starts, we need another teacher because we just had an increase in enrollment over the last week, which was unexpected or whatever. Think of yourself, think of someone else. We just need somebody who's passionate about classical or about learning about it, passionate to support students with their learning, patient, and God-fearing, so practicing in their faith. Share news about our school with others. Again, we've got our digital and hard copy flyers. Donate to support our mission. It could be one time or recurring. That's also online on our website. And pray for the success of our school.
Can I add one more?
Yeah, sure.
Why don't you think what kind of fundraiser you can organize? Everybody's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea.
So I was
Think
gonna
outside of the parish by bringing people in
Where to go,
here for something.
Yeah. So I mentioned in the pictures, but Ksenia organized 3 of them that were music related or arts related. It was a series, right? But you've been involved in the other fundraisers, the gala. I mean,
That's a very
right? Oh, and then we had lemonade stand. By the way, does anybody have pictures of our lemonade stand on Pentecost? Like, I was so busy there, and then I was like, we didn't take a picture. If anybody took a picture, even if we're kind of in the background, please send it to me or Father. We like it for posterity. We put it on the drive so everybody can see what we've been up to. But anyways, maybe next year. Now that we have the recipe down pat, right?
Chris has a question.
Yes, Chris.
Out of all the subjects, do you think you spend the most time on math? Out of all the subjects?
Generally throughout the
most
day.
minutes
What's in the
per
glass?
week?
Yeah, phonics and math.
Wait, you said phonics?
Phonics and math.
Oh, that's like writing and stuff?
That's like
Reading.
reading and, yeah, I mean, that's part of it, writing too. You have to be able to read to write, yeah.
But you see the math that is kind of involved, not only like sitting and it's not that level yet of the class.
Yeah, I mean, we're all
But
going
it's
down.
involved in like every single thing, like debate and it's more math in the level of class.
And if you're interested in anybody seeing the workbooks, these are completed from previous years. I have junior kindergarten up until 2nd grade. Come and take a look. I have some of their crafts too from the year. And the crafts always related to some kind of thing that we were learning that week. So if they were talking about a house for hermit crab, this involved watercolor and then cutting out all these pieces and putting them together in an order. Obviously, we teach them to do that, and they do that. So thank you. I know it wasn't 5 minutes.
It was just over. So thank you very much.